Hello. I thought we could do something fun and something that I haven't done in a while and go through my Kindle Unlimited TBR. I'm a little down in the dumps today. So I thought it would be fun to talk about some books because I just don't do that a ton here, you know? It's not like I make vlogs where I'm talking about books all the time, but I want to start doing these Kindle Unlimited check-ins / TBRs, and I want to do like recent reads again. So here we are, my first Kindle Unlimited TBR of 2025. A lot of these books are things that I've carried over from last year that I just haven't gotten to. I made a concerted effort to make sure that I'm reading more Kindle Unlimited romances, but sometimes you just fall behind, you know? So we'll talk about the things that I currently have on my list. A lot of this stuff is like random ads. Some of these things are like for videos and stuff, so we're gonna discover them together. And if you've read any of them, I would love for you to tell me, or what you have on your TBR, because I'm at my limit and I have a running list, but I can certainly add to that list at any time. So the first thing on the list is The Goddess of. What drew me in originally was this cover. This cover is stunning. And it seems to be about the daughter of the high sea goddess. She holds no title, no power, but is the key to a curse placed centuries ago on her mother. She must form a union with a god from an opposing family. They have an arranged marriage. He's the high god of death and curses, and there's a human lover or something along those lines. So it sounds pretty complicated. It says, an interconnected dark fantasy romance series about the fragility of gods and goddesses. High stakes, all the emotion, a mythology-inspired world, urban setting, mental health rep, and a little horror. Must be read in order, blah, blah, blah. Sounds good. Love the cover. I will be getting to that eventually. I'm not a huge mythology fan, but it could be good. We have A Serenade of the Elf Queen. So this is a fast-paced fantasy romance featuring elements of enemies to lovers, spellbinding romance, arranged marriage, morally gray characters, and a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. So this says it's about the elven queen who's always been afraid of the cruel Fae King. He murders her sister, she swears for revenge, and she seeks out a well forgotten to time to help her get her revenge, and she finds a bloodthirsty immortal vampire. Honestly, that sounds super good. Dual POV, enemies to lovers, spicy fantasy romance, touch her and you die, forced proximity, found family, fated mates, morally gray villain, and who did this to you? Okay, I'm kind of in a vampire, like, omega paranormal mood. So I'm just gonna say that all of these are like top of mind, and then I'm never gonna get to them, but that actually sounds really interesting. We have Ruin, captivating romantasy that masterfully blends steamy tension with breathtaking world building. It's a true slow burn romance with enemies to lovers, nods to multiple mythological stories, LGBTQIA+. Aurelia hasn't felt the touch in 250 years. King Renwick rules a rival kingdom. She flees. He recognizes her and aids her escape, uncovers the truth of her parentage, and masters her magic. That sounds like very typical fantasy romance, romantasy novels. We've read 1,000 times that exact same plot line. So, not as interested in that one, but it could be good. All of these, I think, have pretty good Goodreads reviews. I tend to like try to go to Goodreads and just get a general vibe of how people are feeling. I don't obviously let that change my mind if it's something that I'm really interested in, but if it's like something that I just randomly come across, I'll check the Goodreads and like see what people are feeling. We have Devil's Deal. Again, another great cover. It's a dark fantasy romance. Devil craves my soul. She gets seduced by the devil. I don't quite know about this one. This seems like it has an early hookup. I don't know about that. I think it might be Hades and Persephone situation because it sounds like she kills everything she touches. We'll see. I'm not like a huge mythology fan, and I also don't really like an early hookup, but we'll see. Worthy of Fate is our next one. Marked by the gods, she's forced to partake in a trial. She'll be granted powers. There's a plague in the realm. She has to survive the trials and he's her mate. It says new adult dark fantasy, intriguing magic, dark forces, spirits, and forbidden fated mates. All right, the Fell Queen. I don't know what drew me to this one, but for some reason I just like distinctly remember this book cover. She gets delivered to the rival king. I can't tell if, I think the hero is the king. It's kind of unclear. Never the type to lead from the back, not when being at the front yields such pretty feisty spoils. Has to rely on the king who stole her future and become the evil queen at the tyrant's side. We have Lord of the Fading Lands. I think this author also wrote a fantasy romance that has like a historical romance cover that I was like really interested in, but that one didn't have good reviews. This says, it doesn't have like a super long description. It just says epic romantic adventure that combines sweeping fantasy with paranormal romance. Songbird of Sorrows. All right, so the main character was a princess who was pushed out of her kingdom. She's assigned to the Alpha Flight. They are tasked with infiltrating the Eastern Kingdom's royal trials. I'm so tired of trial romances. Woo! All right, trial, they have to get something. That's a trial, okay. A Kiss of Iron, I'm pretty interested in this one. Very intriguing cover. It's compared to the Court of Mist and Fury, of course, Bridgerton, and the Bridge Kingdom. Cutthroat game of court life, masters manipulate pawns, and you never know which one you are. One thing is certain, there's no space on the board for love. A penniless noblewoman, she's on the verge of losing everything. She's drawn into courtly intrigues. Spy on the powerful Fey Lord, known as the Night's Queen Shadows. He's handsome, ruthless, and cunning, but she can't decide if he's a threat to the kingdom or just her heart. Perfect fans of Guild and From Blood and Ash. There's just like, the thing that drives me absolutely nutty about fantasy romances, well, I guess contemporary romances do this too, but like Jennifer L. Armentrout and Sarah J. Maas did like not invent fantasy romance. Romance has been fantasy forever, so it's kind of irritating that like every book is compared to them, but it draws people in. It gets searches and stuff, so I get it as far as like for the platform, but it's kind of irritating. All right, so then we have Aerie, a knight in disgrace, a prince banished to the cold northern reaches. She's a knight in exile, snowy prison, disgraced prince. He's a captive. Again, fans of Sarah J. Maas, Jennifer Armentrout. Next is Riftborn. So it's 20 years after Rebellion. She's now an outcast. She has some secretive power, and the power is like growing stronger. The general of the army, he offers her a choice: join the guard or face execution. Well-developed enemies to lovers arc and strong female friendships. Heavily inspired by X-Men. Then we have Metal Slinger. Now, this is an intensely popular fantasy romance right now. I've tried to read it previously. I got like 20 pages in and I couldn't really make sense of what was happening, but all I remember is the heroine is like part of a guard, and they're like part of the Navy or something, and she moves into this rival city for like this one day of celebration between all of the kingdoms. She tries to perform a heist. They get caught and like they race away. It was interesting for like, it was new and it wasn't something that I had like read before at the start of a fantasy romance. So it was interesting, but I just couldn't like get into the story a ton. So I do want to give it a try because a lot of people really, really love it. So I'm hoping that I'll love it as well. But in the moment when I was reading it, I just couldn't get into it. We have Blood and Steel, another very popular. I also think I started this one before, and I believe this one is about the heroine who's always wanted to be a warrior, but due to good old sexism in this kingdom, there's like this prophecy that a woman who wields a blade will be the end of their people, and so they've never let a woman wield the blade since that prophecy was said, and so she kind of goes against it. They give her the chance, and I think she has to train with the hero, and he's like broody and doesn't really want her there. We'll see if it goes, is it like sexism that doesn't like, because he doesn't think women should be warriors, or because like he doesn't like people we'll see. Again, I tried it. I think I got like 20 pages in. I'm willing to give it another shot. We have the Book of Azrael. This is probably the one that I'm like top 3 most excited for. I do think this is like a dark fantasy romance. I think she makes a deal with a monster to save her sister. She is trying to secure an ancient relic from the creature that hunts her, and he's like a reincarnated god. He's the world ender, a myth, a king. That doesn't give me too much. However, this is like extremely popular right now. Well, in general, over the past like couple years, I think. And if it's dark fantasy romance, kind of my jam. Then we have The Unseelie King. I heard Spicy Cats Reads talk about this, and I think, I could be wrong, but it's like fae, arranged marriage situation, but she said that he's like not nice at all. Like he's very mean, and I'm pretty sure she said he basically like stays mean the whole time, which I personally love. I love a grump. I love a dick in fantasy, in fiction, not in real life, obviously. And I love a certain kind of asshole, not take your rights away, put you back in the kitchen kind of asshole, but like, yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for that one, but I do think it's like typical fae fantasy situation, and it has some like fun stuff to it. So then we have A Dance Macabre. I actually heard of this pretty recently. I've only heard one person talk about it, and it was Kat from Catherine Karras. Dark and gory. This says the city of Provadia is home to the wicked, depraved, and perverse. Urges, built on the urges of deviant desires and our twisted cravings, every soul fated to this damned city worships at our altars. Mercy and Wolfgang have always been enemies, fueled by centuries-old family quarrels. And the way that Kat talked about it was like they're both depraved, and they're like doing fucked up stuff to each other and like falling in love, which is, love that. All right, we're almost to the end. We have Forged in Blood. This says it's a dark paranormal fantasy romance. The main character is a lover of literature and unicorns. She's an orphan. I'm assuming she has the power. She attends Montridge University. Love that. 3 ruthless, arrogant commanders of the Ruby Dragon Society. 3 of the most feared and powerful vampires on campus. I love stories like this, okay? I'll see if I can find them, but when I first got KU, in like 2019 or something like that, I found this paranormal romance series that was a girl going to like a magical university, and it was like a funny like paranormal romance situation, and she was just like banging all the dudes, and it was so much fun to read. It was so dramatic and so fun. I'm a fan of bully romances. Like, that's not anything new, but there's something about these like going to a school with magical creatures and she's like banging magical, they're so fun. As long as it's not about school. Like, it's like, I don't like dark academia, but I like things set out of school. And I'm hoping, I saw that, was like, I hope this is fun. So I don't know if it's gonna be like fun or dark or what, but I'm here for it. I feel like I'm back in my Why Choose era, which I haven't been in a while, because I have a hard time with Why Choose, because often I feel like it's just like going down a row of banging, which is not my favorite. Like, I'm reading a romance for the characters, and sometimes the like sex is just a little too much. But I feel like I'm getting there again. Like, I just need some like meaningful, you know, heartfelt, just like make your stomach have the butterflies. Like, that's what I need. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This stuff, we'll see. And that gets me into like the stuff that I'm kind of reading. I'm exploring a new subgenre, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Just like a little spoiler, coming up next month, I'm doing a Kindle Unlimited monster romance video, and I have a lot of like the popular monster romances that everybody talks about, and I also have some fun ones that like I haven't heard a lot about. And one of them is Getting It On with the Gargoyles. I have heard of this from Spicy Cats Reads. It's the Haven Ever After series, and it's a small town, like romance series but with monsters. I'm so excited. It sounds so cute. Can Shepard and I save the town and our one shot at love, or will evil ruin our happily ever after? It sounds so cute. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited for my little dip into monster romance. I don't know if it's gonna be a dip or it's gonna become a full-on obsession, but I'm so thrilled. It's not a subgenre that I have really explored all that much, and I'm excited, you know? And that brings me to my next one, which I am hesitant to read. I've read some crazy shit, but this one is interesting. It is Morning Glory Milking Farm. You probably have heard about this at this point, but essentially the heroine milks stuff, you know? And I've heard it's very sweet. I've heard it's very like tender and sweet, and so I'm excited to see how it goes. Like, I think it's just gonna be tons of fun, so we'll see. And then the last one is 100% inspired by Spicy Cats Reads. This is like, I have heard such good things about this series from her. I'm so excited. Yeah. It's Married to the Alien Cowboy. Specifically, I'm really excited to get to the second one, but I want to read this one first. From what I gather, it's like a mail order bride situation, but it's like women sign up to be mail order brides for alien cowboys, and it just sounds super cute and very sweet, and it just sounds like a wholesome, fun time. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I also have like a whole list of other like monster romances and stuff that I'm pretty excited to get to. So, but that's it as far as my Kindle Unlimited TBR. I would love to talk down below if you've read anything on this list or what's on your TBR. I need things to add. I need all of the good books, so please recommend them to me. All of my social medias, aka just my Goodreads, are linked down below. Please consider subscribing. If you want more videos like this, check out my backlist. You probably could find anything you could want in my backlist. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.